Snippet from Resound Performance. Senior Pastor David Fleming speaking.
Thank you to God for the blessings of unity in the midst of diversity. And in Dr. King's speech, as some of you will know by heart, many of you will be very familiar, the dream for a better future for our children, for a better nation, really for a better church. And I will remind you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was pastor. Last question. Pastor Stephen, you are famous for drawing the distinction between thermometer and thermostat. So I asked Pastor Ramon about outside influences and Pastor Avery about internal decisions and choices that we make. Share with us that concept and where in that should the church be?
Well, as you know, when you go home tonight, you have a thermostat on your wall that will set your environment in your home. And then a thermometer also included to let you know what the current temperature is. Now, recently, because of technology that's been brought into the cars where there are dual thermostats, where you have one for the driver to make it hotter or colder, one for the passenger, hotter and colder, which has definitely promoted marital bliss and harmony.
Or thunderstorms.
A thermostat sets the environment, and a thermometer reflects the environment. And God has called the church of the living God not to be a thermometer and reflect the environment and the culture and the criteria and the convictions, but to set the environment. That's who we are and what we're called to be. Whenever I moved here, Pastor David invited me to come join the team 12 years ago. And I've been pastoring in Louisiana almost 20 years, and every church I've pastored, Tanya and I were very committed to cross-cultural relationships, and we always would do a pulpit swap where we'd invite an African-American church and pastor to come to lead worship and preach at our church on a Sunday night. Did that at every church we were sharing in. And when we moved here, we didn't have to do pulpit swaps. It was moving into multicultural ministry and just working together, serving together, doing life together, worshiping together. And we came into relationship with Fallbrook Church, which is a mega church just 5 minutes from here. And their executive pastor, Pastor Olis Holder, Pastor O, and I became dear friends and still extremely close. And we have lunch together every other month. And he invited me to come speak to their elders at the Omni Hotel in I-10. So I'll go in, I have my presentation ready, and my PowerPoint slides featured diversity. It wasn't just a bunch of white people on my slides. We had diversity on the slides. But I didn't come here ready for that. I was groomed to that. I had to grow in that. I had to be exposed to that. I had to be in relationship with Pastor Avery to see what I had been seeing, and Pastor Ramon to see what I haven't been seeing, because they gave me a new lens upon which to view life and people. So Pastor O, he's 6'5", he played basketball at OSU. He stands up and says, "Men, we're so delighted to have with us this morning Dr. Trammell. And as you know, here at Fallbrook, we are profoundly black." But in Champion Forest Baptist Church, that's not how they roll. They are committed to embracing diversity regardless of the cost. So Dr. Trammell, come speak to us. So that was the introduction. Now, what he said was, that's how they roll. And the vision of the house is that we so live our lives in our culture that our culture says, well, that's how they roll. They love you regardless of the 9 pounds of pigment that determines your skin color. That's how they roll. They're going to love you regardless of your background, regardless of the food you eat, how you walk, how you talk. That's how they roll. And our commitment is to embrace diversity in the midst of unity and reach the people in the shadow of our steeple, because that's how Jesus rolled.